Today we're making crispy, flaky Chinese scallion pancakes. If you've never had one of these, you're missing out. They only have 5 ingredients and they're pretty easy to make considering how flaky they turn out. They're crispy on the outside and the middle is loaded with all these scallions and flaky melt-in-your-mouth layers. Believe me guys, you'll be surprised how easy these are to actually make. So sit back, relax, and let's make them. So making the dough for our Chinese scallion pancakes is really easy. We're going to start with 1 cup of all-purpose flour and half a teaspoon of salt. I'm going to mix that together with just a regular spoon. And right here I have half a cup of very hot water. And I'm not going to add it all in, but maybe just about 3/4. You need anywhere from 1/3 to half a cup of water for this. So I'll start with that much. And I'm looking for a dough that's a little bit on the stiffer side, but not too stiff. I'll add a little bit more water, almost all of it, not quite. Now at this point, I'm going to start using my hand for this because it's a lot easier to judge whether we need more water or not if you can really feel the dough. I'm thinking we're not going to need any more water. So you can see that the bowl is still a little bit dry on the bottom there, but I think I'm just going to knead the rest of that in, and I think the dough will be perfect. And you can see here that I still have about a tablespoon of water left over, so we didn't quite use half a cup of water. So I'm going to knead this for about 1 minute until everything comes together. We're looking for the dough to clean up the inside of the bowl as well as my hand. So I'm just going to keep kneading this until it looks a little less messy in there. So you can see that my hands are getting cleaner and the inside of the bowl isn't quite so messy like it was a few seconds ago. All right, so once your dough looks like this, once it comes together, you don't have to knead it for a long time or anything. We're pretty much done with that now. You wanna drizzle a little oil on top and just move it around so the dough gets completely coated with that oil. Now I'm going to cover it with plastic and let it rest for 15 minutes. They say you should let it rest overnight in the fridge, but we're not going to do that today. However, I do have one that I made last night, so I'm going to do both of them and I'll let you know the difference between the two. While that rests, we're going to make a little roux. So here I have 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, and to that I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of very hot oil. I'm going to mix that together. And this here is going to be the secret that will make our Chinese scallion pancakes very flaky. All right, it's been 15 minutes and now this dough is nicely rested. I'm going to divide it into 3 equal portions. This recipe will give us 3 pancakes. I'm going to set these 2 pieces aside and cover them with the plastic so they don't dry out. I'm going to flour the surface a little bit and start rolling this out. And just roll it to a nice oblong rectangle shape. You can sprinkle on a little flour if it keeps sticking. The thinner you make this, the flakier and crispier your pancake's gonna be. But some people do like it a little bit thicker. All right, I'm just gonna stretch out the corners a little bit. Now I'm going to spoon on a little bit of that roux that we made. You could use a brush to do this if you wanted to. This is what's going to give us those beautiful flaky layers. I have here a little chopped scallion, or green onions if you will, and you can sprinkle on as little or as much as you want. All right, now we're going to roll this going this way, like a jelly roll. And after that little 15-minute rest, I'm seeing that the dough is very easy to handle. It's very flexible. I'm gonna stretch it out just a little bit more like this. And now I'm going to coil it this way, just like a little snail. Now, this little end that you see here, just tuck it underneath like that. All right, now with a little bit more flour on the board and on top of the dough, I'm going to roll this out into maybe a 6 or 7 inch pancake. Maybe we'll flip it this way and roll like that. I want it to be nice and thin, but not so that it's tearing apart or anything. Now don't worry if you have little bits of onion sticking out. That's perfectly fine. Those onions are going to get nice and charred as they're exposed to the heat, and it's just going to add more flavor to your pancake. Now, when I got to the overnight rested dough, I noticed quite a difference in its texture. This dough felt a lot smoother and more stretchy, and I also noticed these little bubbles forming when I was rolling it out. That is supposed to be a very good sign when you see that. It means your dough is going to be extra crispy, and that's what we're going for here. So if you do have the time to let your dough rest in the fridge overnight, I highly recommend it. It is worth the wait, but the 15-minute rested dough also was not terrible to work with. So here I have a frying pan. I'm going to heat this up on medium to medium high, and I'm going to eyeball about 2 tablespoons of oil. So you'll know it's hot enough when you drop a scallion in there and it sizzles like that. All right, so I'm going to add a pancake to this. I think I'll turn the heat down to medium. And I'm going to cook this for about 2 to 3 minutes or until the bottom is a nice golden brown. All right, it's almost been about 2 minutes. Ooh, this is a nice golden. It's a little bit toastier on this side, but that's okay. We're going to go another 1.5 to 2 minutes on the other side. There we go, till it looks something like that. Just going to put another little glug of oil. I have to say, it sure smells good in here right now. So maybe another minute or so on the other side. I'm finding that this one here looks a tiny bit doughy still right there, so I am going to flip this over again, just to get a little more brown on that side. While this finishes cooking, I just want to quickly say that I hope you're enjoying the video, and if you are, please let me know by hitting that like button. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please consider doing so, and don't forget to hit the little bell. Oh, that one there almost burned too. And you see all those beautiful little bits of charred scallion? Now all we have to do is serve them up, and the best time to do that is right now while they're hot and crispy. You're gonna be so impressed how these turn out. For the little effort we went through to get these, this is pretty amazing. When I was in culinary school, we had to learn so many complex pastries that gave us a very similar result, but this wasn't complex at all. Just look at all those flaky, tender layers. And that exterior is nice and crispy. They're seasoned just right, and I could eat these all the time. If you're having a dinner party or just friends over, then these make a perfect snack or appetizer. Just cut them into wedges and whip up a little dipping sauce with the ingredients you see right there. That's gonna become your new favorite snack. And I especially enjoy these with meals, especially curries, and this cauliflower potato curry is my favorite thing to eat with these pancakes. If you would like to make this curry for yourself at home, I've linked the recipe in the description below. And while you're on my blog, check out all the other tasty, easy recipes on there. Happy cooking, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.